you're not able to visit extended family.
Ooh.
Right? So now we're at a point where you have all this extra time, and even if you wanted to, you couldn't spend it with your loved ones. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Where in 2019, when we had the same amount of time, or when we had more time, sorry, we weren't spending it with our loved ones.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like you want it. It's like you don't want it till you can't have it, right? It's like all of a sudden now that I don't have time to be able to do the things that I didn't want to do anyway, now I want to do them. Now I want to go travel. Now I want to go hang out with people. Now I want to, build up the business and things. Well, we've always had the same amount of time. That's why I said I'm grateful for COVID. I really think it did a reset for a lot of people's lives in general, to sit back and say, what really did change? A pandemic came through and it took away what we were taking for granted. And now that we don't have it, hopefully people can see the joys when they get it back. And they'll start making time for the stuff that's important, because COVID forced people to think about what's really important.
What's something that you realize that's important to you now that maybe wasn't important to you when you're going through your situation with alcoholism and maybe suicidal thoughts?
My state of mind is important to me now. I didn't realize how important it was to pour into myself and to develop a strength in my head that kept me positive. I didn't think about me. I got to go to work. I need to make sure my husband has this needs met, and then my kids have these needs met, and my job has these needs. I just didn't put myself first. So I realized how important I am, and not just me, because people can do that. They can log in time for themselves for like self-care, which is more than just mani-pedis, like it's more than just going out to get a massage. People can log in time to like relax or time to reflect. But for me, I started to see more important how it was to figure out my mental state, because my mental state was broken. That's what wasn't strong enough. That is what I didn't have clarity in, is the way I thought about myself, about my body, about the life I was living. That mind, my mind, our minds are so powerful. So that's what's important to me now. It's my mental state.
Yeah. Is there certain things that you're doing now to continue to maintain that strong mental state of mind?
Yes. I'm constantly checking myself. Like I said earlier, when I said, if I look in the mirror and I'm like, they are going to whatever, I had to stop and change their pronoun. Where's the they even coming from? What am I thinking right now? And why am I thinking the way I'm thinking? Why do I feel like this is not going to work? Why do I feel like she's going to do this? Like, because I internalize things more often now with the intention of nipping it, because I am in control of my state of mind. I am in control of how I feel and what I think and what I do. The outside factors don't have power over me. So now I'm more intentional with my thoughts. That's what I do now. I don't have a routine set in place. I don't have any affirmations that I say specifically. I'm just starting to take more notice. That's a change I've given. I'll take more notice. I'm more aware of what I'm thinking than I used to be.
Did the control come easier? Did the control come easier to you than you expected once you started on this journey? Or was it maybe something that you felt was more difficult to continue?
This is actually more challenging, because it was so comfortable what I had been and what I've been doing for over 2 decades. But like I said, the growth is in the discomfort. And once I even learned that, I get more excited about, okay, this is uncomfortable. That must mean I'm about to go through some kind of breakthrough, because it's starting to feel a little like, I don't like this. I don't like the way I feel right now. So what's happening? What's about to go? So it's different. It's a different kind of struggle. It's just like I say, I've heard there's overwhelm and then there's overwhelm. Like you have the good overwhelm. Like I'm choosing for my mind to be challenged. I'm choosing for my body to be challenged. Where versus it's just happening to me. That's that overwhelm that can exhaust you and cause stress because you're not in control of it. I'm in control of this overwhelm. And I know that once I get through it, it's just another light or another opportunity to grow even more. I'm excited about where I am. And yeah, it's harder, but it's a good hard.
And you mentioned a good point of being overwhelmed, because for you, your wife, your mother, and and you're a professional woman, do you think sometimes that, because you mentioned, and I'm going to phrase this question this way, you mentioned that you were looking after people's, making sure everyone else was okay,
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
at the expense to a degree of not making sure that you're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard this from a few people I've interviewed. They've mentioned that, and it seems, um, and the people that mentioned it, they're all mothers and they're all wives.
Uh-huh.
And
Yep.
what they mentioned is that they feel sometimes that the strength of the household
Yeah.
is on their shoulders,
Yeah.
right? And it leads them to feel overwhelmed, and it leads them to feel that, you know what, I need to make sure everyone else is okay, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
secondary. But what these women, these mothers, these wives realized as they got older was that it's okay to take a day for me. It's
Yeah.
okay to make sure that I'm okay, because if I'm not okay, then the people that I want to be okay won't be okay because I won't be around.
Right. For me, I agree with that. And that's a great step. I challenge women to take it a step further and let somebody know how you're feeling and ask for some support. A lot of those things we took up on ourselves, that weight that you said was on our shoulders or my shoulders, I chose that weight. I chose to be that let me be the caregiver. Let me make sure everybody's okay. Let me nurture, let me love, let me do all that. I didn't give my husband an opportunity to really step in and step up, at the level that I thought that he could, because I thought that it was my role. I was raised with that mindset. Oh, but you this strong Black woman, you got to get in there and take care of everybody. You got to make sure that everybody's okay. You get yourself overtime when the kids are grown and out the house. That's when you can start doing things for you. And yes and no, it doesn't have to be that way. We can ask for help. It's like the superwoman complex. Like we were bred and raised to do everything independently, to be strong, to be bold, to be aggressive. Like you don't need no help. That's all bullshit. It is okay to ask for some help. It's okay to need the help. And so I would say a step further, share your feelings, share your emotions, and seek some support. Because at the end of the day, your mental state might not last. We do all this carrying and holding, and this weight gets so heavy that we'll find some other way to suppress it. And it doesn't have to be that way. That's a choice. We chose that. I chose to be that person, that caregiver, that supporter, that everything else at the level that I chose to do it. I'm not saying I wouldn't still have the role, but it didn't have to be as heavy.